Okay, are we live? Yep, we're live over on Twitch. We're live over on YouTube. Yes, we are. Perfect. Cool. Perfect. Just get some phthalo green out of the way. So we have to finish up those pans. Oh, son of a bitch. Where did I put the things? There they are. We'll just make some paint and then we'll probably start painting. We are running low on that again. Hey there, Wasteland. Words. Words are not my friend today. How you doing? What the hell? Why is the chat not showing up? Hey, Goldchan. Where's the chat? Awesome. I am currently trying to fix the chat thing. That's Thalo Green Blue Shade. PG-7. I need to get PG-36, honestly. Yeah. Move the camera into a better position. This is Thalo Green Blue Shade. We'll be doing, finishing up a couple pans here, and then I'm probably going to actually paint something. I know, shocking, right? Me paint something. I have a ton of things to paint, though. It's, for some odd reason, it's not working on YouTube. Yep, topping up these pans right here that we made last week. Hey, Nicholas. How are you? I'm trying to fix this stupid, nice. I still haven't seen Thunderbolt Fantasy. Yes, fantasy. It's on my watch list. I just haven't watched anything in like a month because I've been so preoccupied with everything else going on. Commissions all over the place and stuff like that. I live in North Carolina at the moment. Haha, fixed it. Yep. And more specifically, I'm from one of the Helene affected towns in North Carolina, so western North Carolina. Most of the city was destroyed right near me. So I'm still dealing with Helene cleanup and stuff like that. Road outages all over the place. This is watercolor. I will be doing oil maybe next week. I can do some acrylic today. I do have to grind it. I have to do some acrylic anyways, but I make a lot of watercolors for people. Watercolor's my highest selling commodity. People will pay extra for handmade watercolors, so I call them artisanal. I sold a pan of phthalo green the other day for $45 because it was from 1970. I don't have much of that phthalo green left, but you know. So was a nice little. It was nice. Get that a little bit of paycheck. Well, like, what colors are you after, Will? Some things can be acquired by mixing single pigments, so you would only have to buy single pigment. And making acrylics is actually quite complicated as well. Hell yeah. Ugh, artisanal soap. I love that. A lot of them request certain things, like I have genuine vermilion here, things like that. So they want all these really weird, like super toxic pigments a lot of the time. I have to make retouch paint for books as well, which is a weird oil hybrid. Ah, yeah. Some of those colors are just impossible to mix up on the real color wheel. But in theory, on the real color wheel, you can also mix up every color from just 3 colors. In theory, it doesn't work like that because that's not how pigments work. But yeah, um, it's mostly because we don't have a good cyan. Like you aren't getting manganese blue. You can go get some manganese blue from Gira, but it's $60 for half an ounce of it, and that's not a lot of paint. Manganese blue is a very low tint strength thing, so that half an ounce is like an ounce of paint. Phthalo cyan, which I'm hoping I found an actual supplier for. If I did, I'll be supplying that with my own brand. Um, if not, I'm going to talk to a couple companies, see if we can sneakily sneak it back in to the rotation. So, but yeah, we don't really have a terribly good cyan. Closest we have currently is PB15-4, which I do like, but nobody uses it. They all use PB15-3. What I put in Payne's Gray is Bone Black and Ultramarine Blue. Bone Black because it's lower tint strength and it's yeah, it's transparent, which is what you want in a Payne's Gray. But it's not vegan friendly, which is my problem, which is why I'm looking for an alternative that's not opaque. I'm probably going to do a Payne's Gray that's a mixture of modern primaries, quinacridone magenta, phthalo blue, and I don't know, Hansa yellow, benzimidazoline yellow. I'm not vegan. I happen to just care about that for consumers because a lot of consumers are vegan, and I have to actually think about that type of thing. Some are not vegan, but they don't want to use animal products like that. It's not like there's a fair trade thing with it either, or like ethical, whatever. Can't tell if the chicken bones are from, or cow bones or pig bones are from anything. Hey, Peach. What's an otter pop? Quick question. What would someone need in order to start making paint? What type of paint would you recommend? What type of paint do you want to make? That's the question I have for you. For oils, you need aluminum stearate, linseed oil in your pigment. For acrylics, you need your acrylic binder, you need your pigment, you need your wetting agent, you need your pH stabilizer, and a couple other things. For watercolors, you need your watercolor binder and you need your pigment. And I'd recommend making your own watercolor binder, which is not hard. It just, takes a couple hours of sitting. Yeah. With watercolor, you can go buy the binder, um, which is the easiest solution. And so you just need your pigment and your binder. But making it is basically you want 2 parts gum arabic by weight, 1 part distilled water by weight, then like a couple, uh, was it like 5 to 10% vegetable glycerin by weight, and then like 5 drops of clove oil, roughly around there. I'll have a video on it, how to make it, at some point. And yes, you do want to do it by weight. You can do it by volume, but it makes it very inconsistent. This one was made by volume. The one in my fridge was made by weight. And you do want to keep it in your fridge. Hey, sentient. I use vegetable glycerin over honey. Because it's vegan. Which also means I can sell it for more. I go to like these art fairs that downtown, and yeah, I can make like $1,000 a day off vegan, like ethically sourced watercolors. I occasionally will sell a tube of oil paint, but it's rare. Most people want watercolors and they want the pretty watercolors and stuff like that. You can use others. Technically, I use clove oil because I have rectified clove oil, and clove oil is the easiest to get. You also need such a very small amount. If you're using rectified clove oil, you'll use like 3 drops of it. With non-rectified, you're using 5 to 6 drops at the most. So, should I fill that last pan? Yes. Will I? No. Phthalo green is a pain in the ass to make by hand. Rectified is more pure. You can get rectified clove oil at specialty shops that deal with pigments and whatnot because it's a very common additive for watercolors. But it's way more expensive. Like really way more expensive. Like almost not worth it more expensive. I think the bottle I have was like almost $100. And I bought it multiple years ago. Because I knew exactly how much I would be using of it, which is very little. I also bought it for a weird little experiment with doing it in water-based acrylics. It worked. It did work. Um, it was a stupid idea that I had to know. Ugh, ew, lavender. I hate the smell of lavender. Um, the specific, I don't know. I just know it's antimicrobial, and that it gets used a lot in watercolors as for antimicrobial purposes. When it comes down to the specific nitty gritty sciencey stuff, I either will know some of it, but I won't know all of it. Remember, I'm an art major, not a scientist. I just happen to make a lot of paint because and care about the archival process of making paint as well, which is rare, believe it or not. Ooh, forgot to wash off the Muller. No, it wasn't a bad investment at all. I knew exactly how much I'd be using, and the reason why I got it is simply because it doesn't yellow. It's not as well, it's not as yellow, so it doesn't tint the watercolor as much, which is more important to me. Yeah, exactly, kitten. Yeah, it's one of those things, Gulchan, of it's worth it to buy. It just if you're trying to dip your toes in it, don't bother. Ugh, I need to clean off this thing. Okay, thank you. If you're in the Discord, you can post it in the chemistry chat too. I don't know if you're in the Discord, so yeah, it's not like terribly expensive to make the binder either. But you have a lot of it. When I was dipping my toes in, I bought a pre-made binder. Pre-made binders are awful. They are truly awful. Um, most of them are just mostly water and don't have the correct ratios. So you get a lot more shrinkage with your product, but yeah, sure, I can post the link. Um, uh, there's the link there in Twitch chat. And for those in YouTube land as well. Though I'm pretty sure that most of the people here in YouTube land are in there already. Uh, ASTM D4263 is God, it's I know it's what is it? American Society for Testing and Materials. Um, I think that's the one for chronic health hazards. Yeah, that's the one for chronic health hazards. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head all the time, despite like I should be knowing them. And yes, I got one of those liners. It's working way better than the silicone mat that I had. And it was way cheaper too. I think it was like $8. Silicone thing, the same size, was like 20. That's not fully mulled. Oh yeah, I can hear the pigment grinding. Yeah, it's just titanium white. This is the type of thing where I don't care about cleaning it. So I just need to get a larger slab. That I was going to do on stream, and then I realized that the sound is going to be super hyper annoying. I might do a video on how to make one. Because it's not like super intuitive, but it's not hard. You just have to find the silicon carbide powder, which is actually really hard to find. Turns out. That was way more liquidy than I thought it would be. Yeah, exactly. Badly. That's where I was actually going to say is like that they sell it there. And they do actually have shipping to other countries as well, and like warehouses in other countries. The silicon carbide powder is for uh, scuffing up your float glass. Yep, I was just making green. I'm making a lot of yellow right now because I need to make a lot of yellow. I'm trying to finish off these pans here of yellow that I need to send out to some people. Plus, what's to hate about yellow other than the fact it's yellow, and yellow's the objectively worst primary color. Hey, Carlos. Exactly. That's why we make a ton of yellow. I'm making a lot of yellow also for one specific streamer who isn't terribly great with mixing pigments yet. He's learning. He's learning his color. So a bunch of like warm yellows and cool yellows just to kind of help out his palette a little bit. Does help. It's called a convenience for a reason. Do I agree with convenience colors? Not really. Are they useful? Yeah, they are. Hey, Filbert. Yeah, yeah. I I know the feeling, Filbert. I know the exact feeling. So far, most of this time I've spent is trying to deal with the phthalo green. Do a Gura dispersion real quick. PV55. Not exactly super light fast, but whatever. It's a pretty color. Super weird color, too. I actually like this over Dioxazine Violet a lot more. More red tinted, but it has this weird effect to it that's really cool. I'm actually low on this. I only bought a 1 ounce bottle of it. Um, because I wasn't sure how much I'd actually ever use of it, and I just wanted it for collection purposes anyways, but you can kind of see the effect from there. Has this weird blue shimmer to it, like Metameric. Yeah, Quinacridone Violet, 55. It's a very pretty color. Yeah. I'm not a fan of purples at all, honestly. I like mixing my own. And even then, I use Cobalt Violet the most if I'm using a violet. Oh yeah, such a pain. Yeah, it's plenty mold. So, I'll have a video sooner or later about making watercolors from dispersions. Um, yeah, it's on the list. I just had a lot of better ideas. That's kind of a throwaway idea for a lazy week. But one problem is that this was a full pan. You see how sunken in that is? There's like nothing left in that pan. It's going to need 4 to 5 layers in reality. Start selling watercolors on my Ko-Fi. Hey, Stat. I am. I'm about to start painting, actually. Weirdly enough, instead of making paint, I just want to finish up these pans here. Good question, Sarah Brett. Eh, words. God damn it. I cannot speak. Um, how do I know when a pigment is good quality? That is a really weird answer, though. So, you have to go by brand name, for one. All pigments are the same quality. There's no, like, specific grade to them. That's one quick thing. So, high quality, when they say high grade, there's only one grade. That means it's always the highest grade. That also means it's also the lowest grade, but nobody's going to say that. Um, you know. But how do you know it's a high quality? Well, you can generally tell by the color. When it's a very high quality pigment, it's going to be very chromatic versus dull and chalky. If it looks really chalky, that means it probably contains a lot of filler. Kremer is a very good place to buy pigments as well. Gira, if you want the easy route with buying a dispersion. If you're making watercolor, you want to go stick with dry pigment rather than the dispersion. In all honesty, as much as I love Gira, I love the company. I buy from them all the time. Um, I they also know me by name fairly well because it's a small little mom and pop store. The making watercolors from their pigment is not optimal. Or from their dispersions, it's not optimal. You lose a lot. If you're making tubes of watercolor, perfect. But if you're making dry pans, it's yeah, not great. And I'm making dry pans for travel. But for tubes, it's perfect. Works out perfect for tubes. God damn it. I don't know why that made me laugh. Um, Artist-driven stores will have pigment. It will just be more expensive than getting it from a dedicated pigment supplier. But yeah, you can go to like Sennelier pigment. It's reasonably high quality. It's not chalked up. They have some things that are chalked up, but they market as being mineral extended. Um, Gamblin is fine too. Stuff like that. Like these brands are fine. They're, as I said, just going to cost more money than going through like Kremer or Gira if you're buying large quantities. That is. And I'm including import fees and shipping into that too for Mexico, because Mexico shipping is not that expensive compared to Europe. $60 European basis is a lot. Yeah. They do not. But if you go to New York, I'm sure they might be able to give you a testing sample. Well, Kremer, if you go to one of their classes, they'll give you testing samples. Gura, they probably won't. Yeah. So the trick with Gamvar varnish or Gamvar matte is that you still have to wait 6 months with it. Their marketing is wrong. I've tested this. Rublev has tested this. Golden, I believe, has also tested this. It's not anything special. They're just doing a really stupid marketing thing with it. It flakes and cracks off if you put it on before 6 months, and it can cause outgassing issues. So liquid pigments is a pigment dispersion. It's literally just this, where it's pigment, water, a dispersing agent, and a biocide. Sometimes a biocide. A lot of times they'll also have like a pH stabilizer in them as well. So you can just throw this into some medium and you'll have a paint. Yep, it's false advertising. Um, and it's really awful false advertising too because it's easy to test. Can you put a varnish on before 6 months? Technically, yes. Should you always wait 6 months? Also, yes. It's the reason why my I haven't shipped out some Space Marines that I need to yet. Yeah, that's what you would want to do, Dana. Dana. Yeah. I cannot speak today. Yeah, that's kind of what Gamblin is saying their varnish is. It's a flexible gas permeable varnish, but that wasn't true in the slightest when it was tested by a bunch of companies. Now, the Golden and Rublev didn't name Gamblin. They just said that some companies will advertise this, but it's completely false. But we all knew they were talking about Gamblin. And when I tested it, my canvas cracked. So right, I can start grinding this instantly. I forgot. um, how to do it? It's basically you add in titanium white, chalk, or kaolin. That's how you get really good opacity. If you want like a good opaque green, um, or you can also technically add in carbon black too. Like I made a green that was very opaque the other day. It's right here behind me. You can see it on the top there. This is because of a tiny bit of carbon black in there, making it more opaque. It's cobalt teal, phthalo green blue shade, and carbon black. If you want a bright green that's like a chartreuse, you add in bismuth vanadate yellow. If you want a red, you just use pyrrole. Stuff like that. Like it's achieving opacity is very difficult without desaturating it as a whole. So you're going to have a little bit of desaturation unless it's a green. With blues, you're going to have a desaturation like this right here is Liquitex acrylic gouache. They claim it's PB151 primary blue. This contains titanium white. You can tell that it contains a lot of titanium white as well because of the color it comes out as. But they don't list it containing titanium white. There's only one fully opaque blue pigment, and that's Yinmin blue. And that's $4,000 a kilogram. And it's not useful for artists, other than it being opaque. I shouldn't say it's not useful for artists. It's not the most useful blue for artists. It's a nice blue, but it mixes horribly. Chalk is safer. You can get a finer dust from chalk as well than you can with talc, but really they're both very similar. Talc has been kind of phased out because it has some problems. For the most part, it's still running around, being the pain in the ass it is. But yeah, it's not as common as it used to be. In, well, wall coatings, that is. Kaolin and chalk are way more common. More specifically, they'll say calcium carbonate than chalk. Because chalk and talc can be the same thing. Marketing reasons, even though they're different. Yes. Dragonfly. Yinmin blue is really only useful for, well, mini painters, I should say. It's still just way too expensive for mini painters. I was going to offer it as a joke, but it'd be like, for a 20 ml bottle, about $70. $70, $80 for one. Because I need the profit margin, and it costs me a lot of money, and I have to make that money back very quickly because you can only buy 25 kilogram bags of it, and it's $4,000 a kilogram. So $70, $80 a bottle is like the cheapest I can do. So I'm not offering it. One day I might offer it as a joke in a very small quantity, but that's about it. Um, for mixing, should I get a mallet and a crystal to mix for acrylics, or should I do it other ways? For other ways, you would want one of these because this is honestly the best way, but a mortar and pestle. You can also do it in a molcajete, weirdly enough, but you'd have to have a molcajete specifically for acrylic paint. Which is kind of a dumb thing. I've done them. I've done acrylic paint and pigment in a Mocha Head Day before. It works. It's suboptimal, but it works. More Muller, which is what this is, Muller and Mull Slab, far better. But it's also more expensive. Yeah, marble dust is really nice stuff, and I need to buy some actually. I keep meaning to buy it. It just every time I remember, I don't have the money. It's not that it's expensive either. It's just one of those things of I spend my money in stupid ways some days. God, this month, guess what I bought? I bought too much coffee. I decided to go for some nice coffee too. Then also I had a ton of bills. I overspent last month trying to bail somebody out of rent. So, was it worth it? Yes. Should I have done it? No. What I get out of it? I got a $300 art commission. Was the art commission worth it? Yes, I do firmly believe it was worth it. Once it's done, I'll post it in the Discord for my D&D character that I haven't played. There's not really a benefit over marble dust, honestly. It's really very similar. Isn't wasting all that pigment. It is quinacridone after all. Expensive, hard to get. And also, everyone loves a good primary red. Yes, there's actually a ton of books. For one, the one that you would want the most is the BASF Handbook, which is unobtainiumly expensive. But sometimes, you can find the PDF out there. That's the one you really want if you want to start making your own paint. That's basically the root of what all acrylic paint is. But another good one is it's called the Artist Handbook. They have it right here. You can get it for pretty cheap. Um, by Pip Seymour. This is actually pretty good. I think I bought this thing for $8 used. It's beat up, but it's yeah. It also has a section on acrylics in here. Oh, fantastic, Sentient. I'm going to be playing D&D in a couple hours myself. I DM a Friday, every other Friday, and every other Saturday I DM right now. I was doing a ton, but I got kind of burnt out, and I just needed a break for a couple months, despite it being my primary income source for like the past year. Almost a year now. Well, they are polymer paints. It's an acrylic polymer. Yeah, I God, I can't wait for tonight. I sent my players to Avernus entirely, and I know they don't watch my Twitch, and I know they don't watch my YouTube for a fact. Um, Horrible friends, but entirely so that we could start a new arc in the Underdark. All right, see you later. I'll be on for a little while longer, like 2 hours. So I think mine's the second edition. You know what? Let's check this real quick. What do they call it? Oh yeah, mine calls it acrylics, not polymer. Whoops, I just dropped the book. No, it's Pip Seymour. Hey, Fugu. I mean, it could be that the older edition of it did say polymer paint. I think mine is a second edition. I think. I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere on it though. Ah, I love this. Kincasia, yellow gold and yellow red, PO48, PO49. PG10. Gamboge. So many. I just made PY 139. So many weird pigments in here. Oh, Ralph Mayer. I don't have the Ralph Mayer book. I need to buy that one. God, I am running low on bismuth yellow. I've made so many pans of this because it's so popular. I need to order a ton of it. Also, I used a ton of it for that acrylic experiment, too. Did you waste your money? No. I personally don't like them because their smell. That's it. Were they good paints? Yeah, they were reasonably good paints. Um, Lefranc Bourgeois. Like, they're good for canvas painting specifically. And they're cheap too. So, I know Carlos, right? I know. But I own the BASF handbook, which only cost me $300. I own different editions of it as well. Because they update it like once a year for stupid reasons. I will buy it. That is one book that has been on my list to buy for a while. Let me make sure it's in my Amazon cart. Actually, Abe's books. Uh, Pip Seymour. I bought this a long time ago, back when I was just learning how to make watercolors and oil paint. Um, I still read it on occasion because it's still good. God, this book is 22 years old. It has a lot of terms in there I didn't even know, like Cenebrace. I still have never seen a place that says Cenebrace, other than that one book. That being said, it's a really good term. Hey, it's not about whether or not I'll learn a lot from the book. It's all about whether or not the book is good for the collection. And it most likely is good for the collection. Oops. Ooh, I should go get the drying rack. Exactly, Carlos. I own a lot of the books that Kremer sells. Yeah, stop sticking to me. I used to have a lot of scientific encyclopedias like that. I have a medical one currently that is mostly torn up because I was using it as rolling papers. It was so outdated. Most of my book collection got kind of thrown away in a very messy estate thing. So I had a lot of books, despite not reading all that much. I haven't read for pleasure in many, many years. Mostly because I'm always so busy reading polymer chemistry things, trying to deal with that. See if I actually want to go to back to school for polymer chemistry. I don't think I own that one. Carlos, either. Check. No, I do own this one. I don't think I've ever. Okay. I don't think mine is in great condition. Because I'm looking at the price right now and it's like $400, which means I probably bought it for like $100 and not cared about the condition. All right, see you, Dana. I need to wash off this plate before I forget. And I just spaced out a little bit. Because we were talking about books. For the Die Gruyter book, yeah, there's a couple editions of it. I don't. I'm like 80% sure I have it because I recognize the cover. I might have it as a PDF though. So I have a lot of books as PDFs that I got from a trove of artist books. Uh, it's basically a list of books that I have to buy. Because I hate reading PDFs. I do it all day long. Okay, let's finish off these pans and then wait, it's Pigment Compendium that I have. That's not in great condition. That I need to buy a new one of because I got it for like $40. A couple pigment books here. I don't have that many. Yeah, exactly, Carlos. Then again, the BASF handbook is a PDF and it's like $400 anyways. $400, no matter like if it's physical or PDF. Yeah. You'll never be digital for searching, though. That is true. I don't know why I'm making this pigment. It's an ASTM2 pigment, which means it's not light fast enough for me, but I don't know. I have it. That's way cheaper than it is at on Amazon for me. I just looked it up and it's like $400 on Amazon for me. Ooh. Uh, Atomic, if you can link the Internet Archive thing in the Discord, that'd be great. If you have a link to the actual book itself on Internet Archive. I need to get an actual tablet myself too. I just it's money I don't want to spend. I need a new graphics card. I need a bunch of things. No, I should say I want a new graphics card because I have a 1080 Ti and it's getting old and it's abused. '91 edition is actually better technically. Weirdly enough, the older those pigment books are, the better they are. For me, at least. Um, because they'll contain pigments that aren't produced anymore. A lot of pigments went away during COVID. A lot of pigments went away in the early 2000s. And when it comes to finding like pre 90s stuff, it's actually quite hard. I'll link both of them. All the ones you find. I found the Internet Archive one actually just now. Ugh, that price point hurts my soul. Assuming I have a soul. Who knows? Are there any pacifiers that are easy to use, to get, use that can add to transparent paint at him? Yeah, so marble dust. Marble dust is the easiest. Now, marble dust is also going to be transparent in oil paint, but it will be opaque in acrylics and watercolor. It's sold in art stores. Clearly, they do. Okay. So, go put this on the dehydrator real quick. You are correct. It's its refractive index. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't see I don't see Internet Archive as piracy, so obviously there is piracy material on there. But that's not their fault. Yep. What Carlos is saying is correct. This right here is mostly chalk. And it still has a degree of transparency. It's like 44% chalk. As you can see, there's still a degree of transparency to it. And when you thin it down, it becomes even more transparent. I'll be dry in a while. Yeah, you can see the writing through that. Not super well, but you can see it. It do. Nope. Okay. Go put some of these pigments back real quick. Just so I have more space. I don't have a lot of space on my desk. The layer's mostly dry. As you can see, it's still mostly transparent. Carolinite and bentonite are more opaque than chalk is, but chalk is more reliable. You probably want to use some dispersing agent. Ooh, that's a huge surplus of books. Some of them I don't have. Thank you, kitten. Yes, words. Um, you should be able to post. You might have to do the check-in thing. Which I need to get rid of that check-in thing. It's actually annoying. Yeah. Um, clear soaps, non-foaming agent soaps, mostly. All right, see ya, Carlos. Yeah, most surfactants are just, you know, wetting agents. A wetting agent is a specific type of surfactant, but you can use a lot of different soaps. Not all soaps will work. You want non-ionic, but most non-ionic soaps will work. And yes, there are ionic soaps. I don't know how they work, but I just know they exist. I no, it's not a world eater. It's a custom captain though. It is chaos. Similar to a world eater, it's corn. The teal arm is yeah. This is a commission for a friend, so and I've only taken 2 years to paint the army. Very patient friend, I should mention that. Not the ones I just made because I made watercolors, but I am using paint I made. So right now I'm just using a silver. Though I didn't make, technically speaking, I didn't make that silver. But I made the black pigment, I made the PBK 31. I didn't make that. I made the bismuth. I made the pyrrole. Yeah, I do. I make all the above. Mostly I make acrylics for a living. Well, I made acrylics for a living. For artists, I make watercolors and oils mostly. I'm working on doing an acrylics company though. It's just really expensive to start up. This thing out. Eh. So I'm gonna have to grab more of the silver here in a moment because I'm actually running low on the palette. It's from Lascaux. The best metallic paint I've ever used is from Lascaux. The Studio Bronze stuff is amazing. For their aluminum, at least. I have my own silver, but it's not perfected yet. You just need a specialized pigment. That's all. Is it hard? Not particularly. Gold is hard. Making a good gold is very difficult. Shockingly difficult, to say the least. The reason why it's so bad and so hard to make a good gold is because most gold pigments are reactive to elements. They're going to be made out of brass powder. So you have to get something like a vacuumized metal pigment, which is extremely expensive and very hard to work with because most of the time they're for solvents only. You can do waterborne with them, but there's a, I don't know how. So it's the type of thing where I have to have enough money to get the pigment so I can experiment with it. And I'd need a minimum of like $2,500 just to get the sample pigments in. So it's a lot of money. Yeah, the worst part is because I don't make my own fuck polymers. Um or acrylic medium. I have to go out of my way to get density ratios for that, and it's quite hard to do that because I'm not that good at math. Should end at around 5, so I have time to actually set up for my D&D stuff. Said I should end at around 5. Doesn't mean I will. Do I have the gold here that I use? Slay silver. I am DMing. Yes. How different are these? The session starts at 7 my time, which is in uh little over 2 hours. See how this does. Definitely way more transparent than the Let's Go. Never used this paint before. That's a very good way to get into the good graces. I don't recommend people starting out DMing. I know a lot of people want to start out DMing, but it's you need the experience as a player first, honestly. A lot of DMs I know started out DMing and then they've never been a player. It's a chronic thing within Adventures League because we're always short on DMs. And new DMs are not good at DMing. They follow the book too closely. So like whether it be the rules or stuff like that, they don't have any leniency for rule of cool. Ah, no, you're fine. As long as it's readable. Yeah. My first time DMing was also rough too. Can I say I'm a good DM now? No, I'm not. I'm just the one willing to DM. Which is all that matters, really. I'm not a bad DM. I'm just not a good one. Um, I make my my DMing style is simply put as who the hell knows what I'm doing? Everything is made up on the spot. I rely heavily on D100s to do things. And yeah. But I'll run a module sometimes. Mostly I just kind of make up my own things. I have a baseline what I want for a campaign. And because I'm a paid DM, um, a lot of what I do is make up stories for the players based off what they want. Been DMing myself for 20 years now. About exactly. I don't know what the plot. You can't you can't guess the plot twist if I don't know what the twist is. My Friday group is also a beginner campaign, so it's I want them to feel like strong, powerful heroes. I've done Descent and Dragons in forever. PC70 athletics roll. That basically means you can only pass out on a crit. Why am I doing that? I didn't shake that. Still worked out though. Just you just remember to shake that. I personally enjoy Pathfinder more than 5e. I find Pathfinder to be a much better game overall, but I play more 5e because it's more beginner friendly. But Pathfinder has some of the craziest things ever in it, and it's great, and I love it. Yeah, like 5e isn't bad. It just it's not as nuts. The best way to play, however, in my opinion, is combining both of them into one system. And that's kind of what I do with 5e. Is I use a lot of Pathfinder mechanics to make sense of 5e because 5e is missing a lot for its own detriment. Sure. Give me a second here. Yep, that's the one that I had in my hands. Oh, the cost prohibitive one is oh god, there's a couple of them. BASF. Now, I'm not saying you should pirate it, but I am saying that you can find a PDF online of it by Googling. You should totally always buy your books. The BASF handbook is it basically is the entire instruction manual on how to make acrylic paint. So it's very chemistry based. I don't understand like a good 70% of it. see. See you, Vistas. Hey, Bob. I'm painting now, Bob. Instead of making paint. It's a captain of a berserker. He has a plasma pistol. I think it's a berserker. I have no idea. I just paint the little things. I don't play the game, and I don't know the lore. Nice. Remember to post the goblins in the Discord. Goblins are always welcome. Can never have enough goblins. Except when you have too many goblins. Then you have to eradicate them. Evil little buggers. Hell yeah. We're not going to be on for too much longer. I do have D&D in uh an hour and a half. And I have things to do like make coffee. So, grab something from over here. It's not a D&D character, but I do have them. Let's see, we have uh, these guys right here. This is supposed to be painted pure black, though I think I'm going to use the older sculpt. I might just do a quick dry brush of gray over there just to give it more definition. But yeah, not expertly painted, but painted well enough. That's a Neko Knight, so, you know, gotta have his little shadow clone thing. Oh, yes, that is a D&D character token. Sorry, I was confused there. I play a lot of D&D, so yeah. I agree, Bob. It really is. Ooh, that's fun. Okay. War. Yeah, that's where I have to end because I have D&D in hour and a half, less than an hour and a half, and that means I have to get all my shit ready and packed up, and nothing is packed up. So, maps, the tokens, the everything. Thanks for joining me. See you all later. Maybe tomorrow I might stream. I have D&D tomorrow as well. So it's going to be kind of a messy thing, but no, coffee only. Coffee only. All right. Good night, everyone.